Hey everyone, Shawn Clement here, and we're talking feel refinements. Boy, oh boy, are you going to love this one. So if you look at the feel through impact, and for many of you, you don't understand what's going to happen at impact, you can't anticipate it, you can't predict what's going to happen. And we're going to be talking a lot about that in our premium channel. We're doing a consistency series over the winter as far as training is concerned. And you're going to see this little trick in there and then some as far as anticipating that elastic collision that you're going to have at impact. And so you've got this base of momentum. Let me put this down right here. I'm sure you're very curious as to what's going to happen. So I've got this base of momentum that I'm swinging the club back and through. And for those of you who say, okay, listen, I have this amazing, practice swing, but then when I get to the ball, it all changes. That's because during the practice swing, you're swinging the club, and then when you get to the ball, you're getting ready to hit the ball. You're not getting ready to sling the club. So what we want to maintain at all costs is the whipping or the slinging or the throwing of the club. And one of my greatest videos is Throwing the Club, Shawn Clement. And we have an amazing series on that on the premium channel. So if I was throwing the club in that direction, you'd see a nice shift, a nice clearing of the body, all that stuff. So to engage that kinetic chain that happens so naturally in the swing when you're actually swinging the club, that's what you want to keep. But if you're trying to hit the ball and you're making that ball your target, then your brain goes into manipulation mode and it's trying to hit the ball hard with the arms. That's completely different. So it's the anticipation through impact that's a really big deal. Now, if I'm cutting through a dandelion stem, you see that T that we have right here. So I'm going to give you two examples. If I had a nice little bamboo shoot that's tender and green, and I got this razor sharp machete, in order to cut through that, I wouldn't have to work very hard at all. I can already see how that blade's going to easily get through. Now imagine you got this really thick one that's crusty and firm. Now you're going to need a lot more zippiness through there. And you're going to feel the body tone up and the grip tone up, and a lot of things are going to happen. So when you're anticipating, you got this base of momentum here. I like to talk about the tablecloth trick. When you got this magician or this very skilled person, please don't try this at home. I don't want your wives to be mad at me. So you got these dishes on the table, you got your tablecloth, and you yank that tablecloth out from under the dishes. So that, in essence, is what a whipping action is. So you've got your base of momentum, and then through impact, you're zipping this through. So a really cool, and this would be a great stocking stuffer, is you get this, you see the little wand right here? It's a gymnastics rhythm ribbon. It's a wonderful, kind of discipline in the Olympics. So you tape this to the bottom of your club, and you put a couple of golf balls on it. You get out in front of it here, and you're going to zip that carpet out from underneath those golf balls like that tablecloth. And there's that wonderful little sensation that you want to feel through the cut of grass. So you're cutting through the grass, and what happens is the brain anticipates that elastic collision with the ball. So if, let's say, I had a volleyball here, and this is always a really cool exercise to have. If I take a volleyball, don't try this with a basketball or a soccer ball because you'll get injured. A volleyball is nice and light, and don't inflate it all the way. And don't go crazy on it, but you'll notice if I wanted to send that volleyball underneath that red square, I'm anticipating that elastic collision with that volleyball, and you compare that, let's say, to, I got a perfect little ball here for you. So you compare that to a wiffle ball. So you went from a volleyball to a wiffle ball, and now you're feeling, wow, that's not a lot of resistance at all. So then you really don't have to work very hard through that wiffle ball. And then you put a golf ball down. You say, okay, if I'm cutting the dandelion stem, so my eyes are on the leading edge of the club between the ball and on that piece of grass between leading edge of club and ball, I'm feeling that nice zippy cut through there, and I'm anticipating that compression of that ball on that club face. So notice that little through impact. Well, that's something like that tablecloth, okay? So that little added dimension, that little added sensation, we're going to be talking a lot more about that, so that you're able to predict what's going to happen through impact as you swing through the ball and toward the target. This is what's going to allow you to stay over there and not default to over here. If you default over here, why would I shift weight and clear hips that way when that's my target? And because I stop there, well, there's your chicken wing, there's your collapse. You don't have width, you don't have weight shift, you don't have extension, and that's all focus based. You're going to soon realize that you're not defective. And, tell your wife I told you you're not defective, and see how hard she laughs. So try it with different varieties of objects and really anticipate how you're going to have to come through on your way to the target for that ball to respond. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next week.